Hello, I'm here with my father at the Circle 9 Ranch. This is his new mobile rapid response wildfire unit. We're going to be talking about this in the next video, but in this video we're going to be talking about overall strategy and why something like this is important in an area like this. So let's take a walk around and look at the different wildfires that actually has threatened your property. All the red houses are
they're gone.
They're gone.
Yeah, destroyed.
Let's take a walk around. So there's been many fires around this area, but the Walker fire was one that came fairly close, right?
Yes.
And it started
about
over
a quarter mile up the road from here, and it burned up and then over this ridge, and then it came back towards us on this ridge, and you can see burnt trees up there. That was all part of the Walker fire. It burned all the way to the road, and that's where it stopped.
So the road is right over here, and the house, this is the garage, and the house is right over there. So we're talking about, what, 200 feet?
Yep.
Or so.
About 200 feet.
All right, so the next fire, since you lived here, that came in fairly close was the Dixie fire?
Dixie fire.
Or is there a good spot to see where that came down from? Because that kind of came from the other side.
Let's stop here a minute. If you see that mountain over there, the fire burnt all the way over there. It was about a mile and a half from us, and it burned down to the bottom of that hill over in that area where the road is. And again, they stopped it there.
Including our friend, Dana, who helped the firefighters stop it, actually in his property.
It actually burnt in his property.
Into his property, really close to his house. And he had made many preparations to save his home against the wildfire.
Dixie fire burnt that hill over there.
Burnt that hill.
This hill.
Yeah. And that hill.
And it came, if you look back, this ridge that's back here, it came up, and one night it was burning on the other side of that ridge. But this, remember I said this ridge was burnt by the Walker fire, so when it got up to the end of the Walker fire, it went out. So that's as close as it got to us, was the top of that ridge.
Okay.
And then it burnt on way around us and just kept burning. 1 million acres.
Check out this website, Dixie Fire Before and After. All these are interactive links. You can click on them and see a 360 panoramic view. A lot of homes were lost in that Dixie fire. This is a aerial view of the town of Greenville, and it was pretty much destroyed by the Dixie fire. I mean, in some ways, the Vice fire was the most threatening fire to your house.
Yeah.
Because you and your neighbor actually had to start fighting it before the fire crews.
Shall we go?
Yeah, let's go over and check out the Vice fire. You know, the Walker fire, the Park fire that's burning right now, those are names given to them by the Forest Service, I believe.
Park fire is Cal Fire.
Cal Fire gave it that name?
Yeah.
This fire that came right down in this area was not a named fire because it was small. This fire was, I think, instrumental to you making your rapid response unit, right?
It was, yes.
Yeah.
This one was. Gentleman has a business that contracts with Fire Safe Council to go around and rake up people's pine needles and old people to help them out and make their places fire safe. And he owns this property, and so he brings it over here, piles it up, and then burns it in the winter. And one winter he was burning a bunch, right? And he left. And he thought the fire was out. He left. 2-3 weeks later, I'm not quite sure of the timing, but it was quite a while, and there had been a snow. The wind direction changed a little, and it caught this whole area in here on fire, on the ground. Yeah. They all stayed on the ground, but this whole area in here burned. And I have one neighbor that lives up here full time, and the two of us were out there fighting until the firefighters got here.
Which was probably a minute, because...
Oh yeah, it was an hour.
An hour before probably, they got here.
Yeah, they don't... We're remote.
But the wind had picked up.
Yeah, the wind was kind of gusting, and so it would, when the wind died down, the fire was just burning 6 inches high in the duff and the pine needles. But as soon as the wind would come up a little, boy, it would come up to 4 feet. And then if it gets into the trees, then you got a real problem. As long as it stays on the ground, it's not too bad.
Yeah. In that hour, you're slowing it down, right? Yeah. You're moving it around. You're guarding your house.
And my neighbor's house.
Neighbor house down this way. And it didn't burn down. It's still there.
Yep. And my neighbor's house is still there.
So fire right here and fought by the homeowners on the ground with hand tools. So how did this Vice Fire create the vision in your mind for the rapid response unit?
Well, I was over there fighting it with a shovel, which a shovel is a great tool in a fire. But as I noticed that when it would get to a tree, particularly if the wind blew a little, it would start igniting the edge of the tree and start climbing the tree. And I thought, boy, if I had a little bit of water, I could just squirt that and knock that down in a hurry. Or when it was burning just 4 inches of duff, you could put it out really quickly with a little bit of water.
A lot easier than digging dirt.
Find it, because some places around here we got a lot of dirt, but other places we got a lot of what they call duff, which is many years of pine needle buildup, which is a foot thick, and you got to get all that off to get to the dirt to be able to throw onto the fire.
Yeah, you don't want to add fuel. You want to add something that would extinguish it. Now let's talk about strategies, right? Because you have layered strategies to protect your home from a wildfire coming through.
Let's talk. I've learned there's 2 ways that you're building your house can catch on fire. One is through heat. Like if you have another house that's only 6 feet from you and it's burning, there's a tremendous amount of heat buildup and it can actually ignite your house. So the other way is that in a wildfire, when it gets burning really hot and a lot of wind, there's a lot of embers that get blown in. If you don't have your house what they call hardened, so those embers can't start a fire, then you're going to get burned up. And so the idea is to get at least 5 feet from your edge of your house and have it pretty much just bare dirt, rock, or something that won't burn. You can see our house. I've got blacktop, I've got lawn, green lawn that doesn't burn, and I am going to put some metal underneath the porch so that the embers can't get under the porch. My porch is made out of aluminum decking. It won't burn if embers are on. And the vents in your house have to have 1/8 of an inch square or smaller. So you really have to think like a ember. This well on this property will pump 48 gallons a minute. The 1-inch hose can connect to this and just turn it on, and I've got 100 foot, I've got another 100 foot in there that I can almost instantly have a hose.
When you have this, like let's say you wake up and there's ash and embers falling, like usually these things start with a warning of ash. You get some hot embers, and those embers start growing in size, and they're going to precede the fire. Yep. And almost every
miles and miles ahead of the fire.
Miles and miles ahead. And so you could have a fire that's on the other side of the hill, and it's blowing ash and embers up, and they come raining down. You take this thing as soon as you see ash and start wetting stuff.
Yep.
Oh, you also have hand tools around. I noticed a shovel on the other side of the house there. You have a couple of Pulaskis here.
Yep.
Last strategy that I know of, and anything else that you're thinking of, but what I'm thinking as your last strategy, the canal pump. This is the same pump that I have. You could spend a lot more, right? They make specialty pumps.
Oh, yeah.
But, if it works, so this is a internal combustion gas-powered 2-inch waste pump, and it has it coupled down to 1.5 inches for your fire lines. And so let's go see those fire lines real quick.
One of the things about having hoses like this is not for a super rapid thing. This is like if you have a forest fire and it's headed your way, so you have time to get set up.
If Vice's fire is going right now, you're not doing this.
No.
No. Drive it in, lower it down with a winch.
And then
What do you got on this side? The
it
suction
sucks
line.
the water. And then these hoses on this side, you take the end and you hook it to the pump, and then I just drive and this hose unwinds. 100 feet of it unwinds. Then I take one of these T-splitter and put that in, and then there's 1-inch hoses over here, and the 1-inch hose hits here, and it's a Cleveland roll, so it can get charged and I don't have to lay it all out. Another hose, another 1.5 inches on, you drive to the next spot, and it lays out all over the important part of my property. And wetting down is very important in these fires because embers come in, so you know, you just wet everything down good.
If it's wet, it won't catch, and the fire just can't take a foothold anywhere near your house.
That's what you're hoping for.
I like this all contained. This is a really, I think, a good design because you don't have to look for anything. It's right there. So, all right, so that is all your strategies coming up to the mobile pumping unit. Wouldn't you say, or do you got other things up your sleeve? All right, so that's it for the overall strategies. We're going to be talking about this rapid deployable mobile wildfire fighting unit that you just finished, what, a month ago?
Yeah.
Check it out right here. All right, see you next time.
We're watching this closely. They're working hard on this.